For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a bit of a review video on a brand new tent from Opus. So with me here today I've got the Opus Smart Tent T46. So Opus is probably a brand that maybe not everyone's really heard. They're certainly new to the tent market, and it's something they've been doing actually kind of folding campers for a number of years now and moved their sort of technology into the tent market. So what they've really tried to do is create a very premium product, premium features, and one of its biggest USPs is actually it's self-inflating. So there's no physical pumping required to actually pitch this tent. And you can check out our own pitching and packing video of myself pitching this. I did it in my own, the best part of probably around about 22 minutes, 23 minutes. But the pumping side of things, sat in a chair, letting it do its thing, relaxing. So that's ideal. It's worth mentioning actually that it's available in two different sizes. So it's available in a T24, i.e. a 4-berth, or a T46, this one up with me here, which is mainly orientated at being a 6-berth. So the model itself, in terms of size, it's approximately about 390 wide, so it's a decent sort of width. I'd say definitely it's more of a comfy 4, but you can technically fit 6 in if you really wanted to, and a decent sort of length. What makes it different as well in comparison to the smaller T24 model is the fact we've got not only a more width, but a double bay living area, and that really does make it sort of different. Having pitched and done a different review video for the T24 to doing this one, it feels much bigger and feels almost like a different animal to a certain extent. We'll start with kind of the main basics. So, for example, we're running here with a 300 denier material, so really nice thick material, waterproof at 6,000 mil high tilt head, so very, very waterproof, but also very durable. It's got like almost like kind of like a canvas-like feel to it, but it is kind of a polyester material, so very waterproof, and actually a bit lighter weight, he says, than say like actual canvas would be. One thing to bear in mind, certainly with this tent, it is, in terms of bulk and weight size, is a little bit on the larger side. So you're looking at about 61 kilograms in terms of overall weight, and also then on top of that, you've got the front door, which is an optional extra, but we're kind of including it a bit as a bundle, really. We've also got a nice big roller bag, so again, it's a real big oversized bag, makes it easier to get it in and out. And like I said, you can check out our own pitching and packing video of myself doing it, so you can see how simple and easy it really is. Wearing straps with me all the way around tent to give you additional stability. And there's little flint bits built into it as well, so we have a torque that reflects back. So again, it's finding the little details that really different. Quality is definitely one of the main things that kind of they've been focusing on and making sure that. And you can see it, I think, generally from the workmanship, looking at it up close, it's the way things are stitched, the way it sits, the zip levels they use on terms of the thickness of zips and how it runs. It works really nicely. The roof covers applied as standard with it, and personally, you always leave it on. That's going to be a big benefit because it's going to elongate the life of the tent, protect it against UV damage. It'll also create like a double glazing effect, so it's going to be a little bit cooler on a warmer day inside. Also, sort of finer details, things like the material they use for the PVC windows is a much higher grade than probably you see from other brands. Now, pierre resistance is the technology in terms of how it pitches. It's quite clever that essentially you have these battery packs, which are like this, almost like a cartridge for a kind of a shotgun, really. Now, that battery pack is basically 3,000 milliamps. That will pump up a single beam. In the base of each individual beam on T46, you've got a little slot located down here. Now, what you merely do is insert the pump, like a little capsule. It just sits in the cartridge. There's a little button beneath here. Press that, and it kind of goes up. In fact, what I can do, let's quickly deflate one beam, just to kind of show you. So, there we go. There's still some air escaping from that little feeder tube. So, what I can do now, if I just quite literally basically refeed that valve into it. There you go. So a bit more air out. So this is basically a Boston valve which you get on most tents anyway. So this is if you wanted to sort of inflate it or manually, you can almost do as a safety nature. Whereas failing that, we'll get the cartridge. That merely just slots in the bottom down here, clicks in. Down the bottom tab here, there's a little button, so we can just press that. And you can hear that there. It's a very slow little whine. It's not actually very loud, but what will happen is that will keep building the pressure up, and when it gets to the right pressure, what you'll find is it'll then just pop up in position. So As you can see from our picture here, you can basically take it out, insert all the battery packs, put your pumps in, and let it do the work. Admittedly, it's probably not as quick, quite as quick as say using a manual pump, but you're not doing any physical effort. You don't need mains hookup to actually inflate the tent. It will kind of keep on doing it at its own stretch, really. 7 psi is what it basically is designed to go to. Again, works really quite nicely. A lot of the beams are kind of linked actually, so what it is probably doing is doing a lot of them at the same time. That's why we've got a bit of a part in there. So what you can do essentially, I'll grab another pump. Have a little cartridge. We'll pop that in the front. Get a pump on it. There you go, something already anyway. So again, shows you how simple and easy it really is. So effortless, works really nicely. Now, okay, we talked about kind of the amount of features in this tent. So as standard, the front door isn't included as standard. That is a lot extra, but we're kind of bundling it with it. We've also got a secondary zip on the front section here, which will take Opus's fatal windbreak. So you can zip it onto the main part of the tent, and it feels completely interconnected. As mentioned, we've got the wedding storm straps. We've covered nice and beyond. There's even Velcros on the top here again to make it that much thorough. We've got a small little door located in the front, which obviously can then roll that back, and then that's your kind of main kind of entranceway into the tent when the door's off. Now, on either side of the door, what we've also got is the side panel of the canopy can also act as a door. So if you want to kind of keep the front closed, you've got a side door located here. So you can basically come in this area. As standard with the tent, you've got a footprint that comes with it. You can then roll this door up, utilise it. There are also actually some king eyelets in the corner. So it's the same on both doors either side of the canopy. You can actually make this bigger. So you have a little bit of shelter on the top. Do that on both sides, and then also with an open front, it increases your sort of shelter thing. Taking that, like I'm about to do down, so I can roll that up. And then it becomes almost like just a roof sun canopy. So you've got the flexibility on a warm day, you want the airflow through it. You kind of create that really quite nice. And you've got your main kind of entrance in. So you've also got like your wet dry area at the back. Sorry, wet dry at the front, and then sort of your dry area at the back, really. So it works really quite nicely. But really strong and robust. You get a peg supplied with it as standard. And also what you find as well is the small things like low level ventilation. You've also got external zips. You can actually seal it up if you want to do. If you don't want airflow on, say, a cold day, that vent zips up. So again, small little detail that will really do make a bit of a difference. Mesh window slash door on the side here. On the opposite side, we've got like what they call their freeway window. So you have the option of having obviously your normal kind of cover, which is like a zip. You've got your mesh, or then also your PC window. So you can chop and choose between, say, visibility, breathability, or just privacy altogether. What we'll do, let's take that front door off and just nice and move the tips off. And it's probably worth mentioning that the curtains, for example, in the front section, all of the areas have zip curtains. It's quite a thorough affair. You know, beautiful PVC windows, so actually you can get plenty of light into the tent itself, but you have the flexibility of getting the filter when you want to, and you don't really pick this grade off the fabric. What I do kind of notice is the difference in terms of if you want it to be dark, it can be more than happily be dark. So you can zip that front off. That comes off, and then we've got this lovely big kind of open canopy. So you can kind of do with that what you want. To give you a bit of an idea, it's a smaller bag that comes with it. Oversized double carry handles. decent sort of thing. You've also got little pockets located on here as well, so it's perfect for storing things like the charging leads, so the battery packs themselves, the pegs. You know, you've got little pockets you can maximise the internal space of the tent itself. But I'll tell you what, let's bring the camera around, go into the tent and talk for a bit more features that the T46 wants to offer. So now we're inside the tent, you probably appreciate the sort of the overall size here. I mean, I'm about 6'2", 6'3", and standing room wise, it's pretty boastful. Great sort of size, and actually due to kind of the pre-angle shape of the tubes, it does feel quite a bit more spacious in here. We've got, also there's a ground sheet supplied for this front section as well, so we have that ability to make it completely enclosed if we wanted to. As we kind of come in the front door, we've got this drop-down door. That means that you haven't got a trip hazard coming directly into the actual tent itself. When you want to obviously get the seal, it basically toggles up. So it doesn't actually zip, but it does toggle itself up. We've got two big PVC windows on the side here and mesh ventilations on the top. So you have a bit of airflow, but also get privacy. And these actually toggle up with the only two windows, but because they're not your main kind of external ones, that'll be there and there. That gives you the sort of flexibility on that sense. Now, with the windows, because there's zips on the sides, you can obviously alter the height of privacy. So if you want the dog looking out, but you still want a bit of view yourself, you've got the capability of doing that. And like we have on the other side there, these side panels go completely up, just to kind of make it really nice and sturdy. Even though each beam is kind of done individually, and it is basically runs off a single inflation point to a certain extent, but is that all the tubes are kind of interconnected. Each pump obviously just gives air to that certain part, but it will distribute itself over the section. There's isolation taps located, so you can obviously then, if you had an issue, God forbid, you can switch it off, isolated to that single beam, patch repair it like any other tent. So it's quite a thought-out system. It's something that Opus have done for a numerous amount of years in their tents, in their trailers, for that matter. The front door, you've got a full-on mesh door, so you've got a bug barrier at the front, along with the side windows, so you can get airflow directly into the tent itself. As we come into the main body, what we find is actually the overall kind of spacing here is really quite nice. Okay, so really I see this kind of being more like a very comfortable 4, but you can fit 6 in here initially. That sort of 390 width is really great. Double bay living area means you have table and chairs more happily in here, and it sort of flows quite nicely. It does feel a lot bigger than the smaller model in the T24 for sure. Cable entry points located at either side in the middle of the living area, and then you've got little balcony tabs that allow you to have a hanging point for a lantern. Now, one of the other unique things about the model essentially as well is that rather than actually having, say, a lantern hanging, you've got little strips fabric in here. So Opus do their own lights. They're very kindly fit into these strips. That means there's no sort of headroom issue, but you get lighting directly down. Now, these actually run off the same battery that people get up. So once you finish inflating the tent, what you can then do is there's a little sleeve located in here that will house the actual rechargeable battery. Then the lights can run through there, run up to here, and neutralise your lighting in the front section. So that's a really great little thing that, again, it's little details. And not only do you have a lighting strip in the front, 2 living areas, but then you also have them in the bedroom areas. And because you've also got a remote control and they're dimmable basically, you can actually have it almost like a lower light in the bedroom section, so you're not waking up too early. But maximum and lights in there, and you can run. I think it's up to about sort of 8 lights off one single charge off of one socket. In terms of runtime, we're looking in the region of 4 hours, 10 hours. You've got continuously running at full blast. If you have it a little bit lower down in terms of the dosage and the light, then it would actually make it obviously last a little bit longer. And you can obviously recharge this, take it around, swap the batteries around. You've got enough batteries. I mean, 5 with this is standard, and you can buy additional ones if you really want to as well. 2 big nice PVC windows for obviously lots of light into the tent, obviously zip curtains as well. And this is where we then come into a side door on the right hand side, which you can see from the outside. And then on this side here is like bringing in windows. So we've got mesh, PVC, and also the curtains. So for airflow, you can really start to sort of move it around as such. The front bedrooms we've got, essentially it's almost a 3 and a 3, so it's a single divider between the 2 sections. It zips along sort of the back, stitched in at the top, and then it's sort of like an overlap in the centre. So it's not officially stitched or sit along the floor, but it gives a real nice feel of the second divider. The materials are really nice, sort of quite a nice handle to it. Very dark, so when you sit yourself inside of it, it is pretty pitch black in here. It's not official blackout, but it's near as good as you're going to get without kind of that sort of false coating, which isn't the best. You've even got a little ventilation point built in the front door as well, so that means you can have airflow coming through. Not only is there a vent at the front, but also at the back of the bedroom as well, so you can get alter this from the inside and out. But other things to mention, obviously, you've got little storage pockets located in the bedroom section right under here, but down the bottom here as well. It works really quite nicely. But I'll tell you what, let's get the camera up, get a bit more close and close, and get a bit of an idea of the actual open tent itself. So, we'll start with the inside of it, I feel. So, as we kind of come down, the depth of the canopy is really quite nice. You can see the light up there and how smart it looks with that kind of roof code. Now, I think for me, part of this is you've got beams running through the centre. Structurally, it's a lot stronger than probably most other brands. That's why it means that you haven't got the inexpert gets pitched and looking really quite nice. That's one of the big sort of benefits. Obviously, as you see here, window setup works really quite nicely. Cable entry points located down the bottom here. So you've got the same on both sides as we kind of come round. Same on the other side as well. And little tabs located on the beam. Just means you can run your conventional lights directly up to your hanging point for a lantern. So again, these brace tubes on the top really helps give a lot of structure. And they're sort of actually shaped in a way to bring the right amount of pressure, get that roof as taut as possible. Nice big mesh there, and you see kind of how dark the bedrooms are. I'm going to camera just to the actual focus of it. Big ventilation point located at the back. Storage pockets I've previously mentioned. Now this can be one big open area, but it is only segregated into say like a 3 and a 3. First I see this as being more of a grandiose two berth with some space either side of the potential bed. So that's where I think for me it's like a very luxurious four berth. You can probably see the little lighting clipping that's located there. So that is where you would put the lights directly into it. Like I said, then it would just kind of flood the entire tent with light itself. This is kind of the 3-in-1 ventilation, so that's purely just mesh there. You got your PVC window which then goes up to 4, and the curtain on top of that as well. As we kind of go outside, around to see, I think like it's a really quite nice looking tent. The colour scheme really well, it sits really well. In a way, it reminds me of almost like an old woods tent. How it's designed, how it's sit. The other thing I've got like was the webbing straps on the bottom, so you can peg the base of it, and you've got this really nice big oversized elastic piece of heat to get the fly sheets looking taut. It then means you've got a bit of a ramp off, so as water's coming directly down, you shoot up the side rather than reflect underneath the ground heat. But sits really well. It's big old bench looking directly at the back of it. Helps you can get maximum amount of airflow on a warm day like this today. These should feel like cooler. Roof just clip it on. As previously mentioned, got a bit of tension, but you just kind of leave it in place the whole time. Webbing straps can clip on and off as well, so you have things low level ventilation down both bottom each window on the side as well. You've got the option of previously mentioned to open it up. Well, if you want airflow or just want it to just be kind of as sealed as possible, so you've got the best of both worlds there. So I think that's going to give you a really good understanding of the Opus T46. If you have any more questions, queries on the whole, feel free to let us know. I think my overall conclusion of it tends to think it's a great bit of kit, great technology, really quite nice to see some difference in terms of how it self-inflates and works. I think the one thing you kind of have to be generally aware of is, admittedly, it's not the cheapest bit of kit. You're sort of looking over £2,000 for the T46. So it's not the cheapest bit of kit, especially for a polyester tent, but you've got the self-inflating point of it. The quality in the 3D fabric feels really great. The roof cover's built into it. It certainly has its place in the market, and it's the way it's put together, I think, for me, is probably the thing I'm most impressed with generally. When you compare it versus other brands and the way other tents are made, or just the natural feel, the way they sit, I can kind of see why you do pay your money. Admittedly, I would say It's definitely more on the expensive side of things, but as a whole, it's a good bit of kit. You pay pretty much kind of what you get for, really. I think out of the two models, I think say the T24, i.e. the 4-berth version, or the T46, this model here, which is 6-berth, I think I can definitely see being the smaller one being the more popular model for couples and that sort of stuff. For families, I think this is an option, especially I think the weight difference as well. I think the smaller model is around about sort of 48 kilograms, whereas this is 61. So it's wider, it's longer, it's got more to it. Same kind of in terms of functionality. And of course, like I said, check out the other videos we've done on the Switch model. But it's certainly one we would look to potentially look at having on display. So I think it's that much difference as a talking point regardless. So it's, if you want to kind of see it in the flesh, there's always opportunity, hopefully, to come into our shop in Winchester, have it on our indoor display showroom. So, but all in all, really quite like it. Some a bit different. As long as you can put up with the bulk of it, the weight of it, and you don't mind spending a good amount of money on it, I think it ticks a lot of boxes. It's not just the tent, it's your south pitches, it's your lighting system, your battery source. It's almost that full package, especially when you get the door included as well, like the deal we're doing. Yeah, it just ticks a lot of boxes really. So on the whole, yeah, quite impressed. So that's a little video review on the T46. Like I said, any more questions for you, you can follow the link below this video, take you through the website where we've got all the information on pack sizes, floor dimensions, weights, and that sort of stuff as well as individual listed details, as well as all the other videos we have on YouTube as well. So hopefully you found this helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again soon in our next Attwoolls Outdoors video.